Hi everyone, welcome back to Swiss Home Garden, Chitra here. In this video, I will be taking you through a tour in our garden during the month of June. Let's begin from the front yard. These were the roses we had planted a couple of years back, and this year they are really thriving so well that they have branched out quite a bit and we have really a lot of roses. I really like the smell of these roses. They have such a nice smell. And here towards the letterbox we have the lavender, and they are also starting to bloom. These flowers in these two pots have survived the cold weather. The bigger plant here is the aster, which we planted in late autumn, and it has survived. I guess we will get a lot of flowers in summer. This spring was actually very cold and wet that many of the seeds which we had planted during the month of April, they have not survived actually. These were the exotic plants which we had planted in the greenhouse, and somehow they failed to sprout or they failed to thrive. So we are now replanting them into this raised bed. Here we are planting some snake gourds and bitter melon and some okra. Soak them in water and then he's planting them. Now inside the greenhouse, on this side we had the carrots, and they are really growing well. We had harvested a couple of them and it was too early, so we fed them to our pets. And these are the salads. These salads are pretty neutral in taste. They don't have a very strong taste. And behind are the aubergines and the bell peppers. At this point, a couple of weeks back, we see the strawberries blooming and then fruiting, but not yet ripe. In the meantime, we are harvesting about half a kilo every day from our garden, and I'm planning to put in some recipes in this channel. So stay tuned for the videos coming up on some strawberry recipes. In this patch we had planted the potatoes, and now they're actually growing quite well. We had planted many different varieties of potatoes over here. Here some beans. These beans were from the seeds we had last year, and also a couple I think we did get from the garden center. I'm not very sure. And this is some of the spinach which we will be harvesting because they're a little bit overgrown. This is a different variety of spinach than what you normally see, the smaller ones. These have the bigger leaves. And just below the spinach is a lot of mint. Here you see my husband harvesting mint. I think I'll have to collect them and dry them up. I also made chutneys with this mint, and we regularly make mint tea. We are harvesting quite a lot of things right now, but it doesn't look like a lot. Here's some salad, because we've also wanted to give some to our friend and have some for our dinner too. I just wish we had planted more varieties of salads than this one. Just outside the greenhouse, we have some Swiss chard and we would like to harvest them. Here he's de-weeding this whole patch. This has grown wild. I think we had over here some Brussels sprouts and they didn't really thrive so well. We just want to prepare the soil here for planting a different set of vegetables for autumn. Here you see my husband harvesting the rhubarb. I've already posted a few recipes of rhubarb in one of my previous videos. In case you haven't looked at it, take a look at it. I will leave the link below in the description box. We made rhubarb jam, chutney and scones in the other video. The rhubarb is actually a rhizome. You just harvest the stalks and you cut out the leaves because the leaves are high in oxalic acid. We recomposed the leaves. The only edible part in the rhubarb is the stalks. Since it was so cold the whole of May, we were not so much out in the garden and we were also very busy with other things, so we couldn't really give full 100% attention to the garden. As you see, we are already harvesting quite a few things despite being negligent a little bit. And these are the rhubarb leaves. We just cover up this ground so that it doesn't dry up too much, and we intend to plant soon. These were the spinach we had planted in autumn. This was supposed to be picked early spring. We were not here, and so now we will harvest all of them. This is the wild part of our garden. This is just very close to the stream and also very difficult to access, so we don't plant much there. And towards the stream itself, it's quite a bit slopey. So these plants just grow wild and we just let them grow wild. And there are some flowers in between and it does look pretty despite the wilderness. And we just prefer it also a little bit wild. It doesn't have to be all tamed. Here some more tomatoes below the temporary tomato shed. We have some cherries coming up. We will have to add in a lot more fertilizer for this cherry tree to get a bigger yield. On this raised bed we have the dill and sage, thyme and chives, and also some rucola salad. The sage, thyme and all this I got from a good friend of mine. And here was the chili plant which survived from last year. We had brought this chili plant up into the house and now we have taken it back there, and we have a few chilies coming up again. This raised beds, we plan to use it exclusively for our herb garden. Here planting some coriander seeds. On this grey raised bed, we are yet to plant some more herbs, probably some fenugreek and some more coriander, because really I have hardly any coriander. This I filmed almost 2 weeks later, and you can see that the strawberries are actually ripening. This year actually the strawberries are late by a couple of weeks because it has not been that warm this spring. Here we are picking these kohlrabis. In fact, last week we had guests at home and I cooked these kohlrabis and they were really impressed with the taste of it. Because if we wait longer with these kohlrabis, they get really very fibrous and it's not easy to cut them or cook them, so it will be of no use. So we harvested all of them and I keep them in the fridge, and they do keep in the fridge quite well for some time, for at least a couple of weeks. In the meantime, I've already cooked quite a lot of it. And this way we can actually plant some other vegetables in that patch. So we can kind of circulate with different kinds of vegetables in the same patch. We are harvesting some more mint leaves because they're really growing very wild. And on that day we had the guests, we made some samosas. And I wanted to serve the samosas with fresh mint chutney. We are regularly making teas with this mint leaves. With this, I end our garden tour. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and thank you for watching. If you're new to my channel, kindly subscribe. I post one new video every week on food from scratch, Swiss country living and our gardening experiences. Kindly hit that bell button to receive notifications for the latest videos I've uploaded. Until next time, bye-bye.